Alright, welcome back. This is Unit 2, Lesson 3, the subtraction of real numbers. And your first objective is to subtract real numbers. Very clever, I know. You guys should like this lesson, so go fast. So let's jump right into it. Steps to subtracting real numbers that you need to write down. 1 is to change the problem to adding. Okay? When we change the problem to adding, you never ever change the first number. Okay, so for example, if I've got 3 minus 5, okay, I'm going to change the problem to an addition problem. The first number, 3, stays the same. Then you change the second number to its opposite. Okay, so we're going to change the problem to adding, so that subtraction sign is going to go to add. And we're going to change the second number, 5, to its opposite, to negative 5. So we're going to change the problem to adding. Yes, you need to show that work. Then, after that, you just use the adding rules. Okay? And that's all there is to it. So I'll give you a couple examples on the next slide. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, we got your steps up at the top. You're going to need to fill in the table as I go with the examples. Okay? Here's the first example. And yes, on a problem like this, normally you would just take 5, 6 and subtract 2, 6. But for the sake of this assignment and getting used to these steps, I want you to change it to adding. Okay? Just so we get used to doing that with all our subtracting problems. So, it says never change the first number, so I'm going to leave 5, 6 looking the same. I change the subtraction sign to adding. And then I change this number to its opposite, to negative 2, 6. Okay, again, on your homework and on your test when we do this section, I will be expecting to see this step even on a problem like this one, just to get used to them. Alright, now we use our adding rules. Well, when I add fractions, the bottom stays the same, and I add the top numbers. 5 plus negative 2. We subtract those numbers and get 3, and then the 5 is bigger than the 2, so we keep it positive. We can't be done here. We have to reduce our answer. Okay? And there it is. Let's go to the next one. Alright, so now I've got negative 3/4 minus 3/4. Again, I keep the first number the same. I change the minus to adding. And then I change this number to the opposite, so I got to change it to negative 3/4. Okay, well, negative 3/4 plus negative 3/4, that is negative 6/4. That is not reduced. When I reduce this, you don't have to make it a mixed number. You can just reduce the fraction itself. This goes to negative 3/2. Okay, what I want to get you guys away from doing though is changing this to a decimal. Don't make it negative 1.5. Okay, leave things as fractions because it'll make your life easier the farther we go in the year. Same thing with this answer right here. This is a perfectly acceptable answer. Leave it as an improper fraction. That's fine. Okay? Because as we go in the year, you'll want to start doing that. And the next example. 1/6 minus negative 4/6. First number stays the same. Change the minus to a plus. We change this to the opposite, so we change it to positive 4/6. And then I add these together. 1/6 plus 4/6, that is just 5/6. Alright, and the last one. I've got negative 3/7 minus negative 2/7. First number stays the same. Change the minus to a plus. Change negative 2/7 to its opposite. Okay, we leave the bottom. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. So I get negative 1/7. Alright? And at the bottom, I want you to go ahead and write down the subtraction rule. Here's the subtraction rule. To subtract a number b from a, you add the opposite of b to a. Again, we just call it adding the opposite. Okay? So if I want to take and subtract b from a, that's the same as adding the opposite of b to a. Alright? And let's go on to one more slide and then we'll be done. Alright, and we've got a second objective for this lesson. It is to find what are called terms of an expression. Okay, first of all, you need to know what terms are. A term is something that is being added together. Okay? Your steps to finding terms are to change the problem to adding, and then to identify the terms that are separated by addition signs. So tell me what's being added together. Okay? A term is not something that's subtracted. A term is something that's added together. So, let's go to the example. Find the terms of this expression. Okay? So again, we need to change the whole problem to adding first. Well, this 8x, the first term never changes. I've got a minus sign right here, so I have to change this part to adding the opposite. I change it to plus negative 6y. Then over here, we've already got a plus, so we just leave it as plus 2. Okay? Now, my terms are the things I'm adding together. Well, here's one thing. So 8x is a term. Negative 6y is a term. And 2 is a term. It's the things that are separated by these addition signs. Okay? That's what terms are. Alright? And again, I will expect you to show this work right here. Change the problem to adding. I want you to get used to that. Do not just list the terms by looking at the problem itself. Okay, show me how you change it to adding, then show me what the terms are. Alright, and that's your lesson for today. Get to work.